What's up, everyone? You're here with Goran from Pick Dogs, and you're here for your free picks for the MLS on Saturday, October 7th. Well, guys, it's a full slate in the MLS, 14 games on the schedule, and we are nearing the end of the regular season in the MLS. There's only a couple of games left. Some teams have 3 games left to play, and we are still fighting. Some teams are still fighting to get to the playoffs, to stay on that wild card spots, to stay in the playoff spots. So it's gonna be an interesting day. For more free picks, go to the Pick Dogs YouTube channel, guys. Hit that like button, subscribe, and of course, feel free to leave a comment on any of these videos. We have 14 games, like I said, and the first one is between Atlanta and Columbus. Now, both of these teams will be going to the playoffs. They are safe. However, both of these teams are probably two of the most effective teams in the MLS so far this season. So I think that the only way to go here is with both teams to score in over 2.5. It's minus 165. It is expensive. The books are expecting it. Everybody is accepting it, and this is gonna hit because neither of these two teams need anything except to maybe sharpen their goal scoring form, and that's basically what this game is for. So, Atlanta against Columbus, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Montreal will be hosting Portland, and you know what? Portland did an amazing run. They got to the playoff spot, not even the wild card spot. They're at the playoff spot right now, and they could potentially need a win here or at least a draw to secure that spot to stay there. While Montreal is on that wild card spot, however, the season's not yet over, and they could very well lose it because the competition for that is quite strong at the East, and they definitely could use a nice and positive result here. Now, in the last 7 games between these two teams, we have seen both teams to score hit. We have seen the over 2.5 hit more often than not. So I'm gonna go with both teams to score once again at minus 165. Maybe even put it in a double with that Atlanta and Columbus pick. DC United and New York City FC are basically two direct competitors for that wild card spot, and I think this is gonna make this game very, very good. New York City is horrible on the road. They have 7 losses, 8 draws, and only 1 win. While DC United, despite not winning any of their last 6 games, they have been solid at home and they have been scoring goals quite consistently. So instead of choosing the sides in this game, I'm going to go with DC United team total over 1.5 goals, and that's plus 106. Inter Miami is one of those teams that has 3 games left still to play this season. They have 1 game in hand, and that potentially could be the key for them to reaching the playoffs. Now, the only way they can get to playoffs is by winning all 3 of their last games, and they will also need some favorable results from the other teams, but they can only play for what they can, and that is in their own games. That's the only thing they can affect. And I read that everything is ready for Messi to come back. He's healthy, he's healed, and that will definitely be a huge, huge morale impact on this Inter Miami team who hasn't won any of their last 4 games. Cincinnati is safe there at the top of the table. They don't need anything. They will probably be resting some players here just to uh, kind of to reduce the risk because of the injuries just ahead of the playoffs. So I'm gonna take Inter Miami on the money line minus 108. I think they finally get back on track. Whether that's gonna be enough for playoffs or not, I guess we'll see. Red Bulls and Toronto is the next matchup, guys, and the Red Bulls are still in the fight for that wild card spot, and they have actually been doing a decent job as of late. They have lost only one of their last 5 games, and now they're facing this Toronto team who's on a 5 game losing streak, the team that basically gave up on their season a long time ago. They haven't won any of their last 21 games on the road, and that tells you a lot. Toronto is horrible on the road. They're also not scoring goals on the road as well. So I think this is going to be all New York, and I'm going to take New York Red Bulls to win and over 2.5 goals at minus 139. Orlando and New England are also two of the teams who will go to the playoffs. They are safe. They will stay in that playoff spots. The only question is from which spot they will go to the playoffs. And of course, it matters, but I think it matters more the fact that you've actually gotten to the playoff spot. So uh, it, this is going to be one of those games where nothing really has any stakes on it. So We might see some sloppy defense. We might see some offense going off. So both teams to score in over 2.5 minus 120. That's what I will go in this game. Philadelphia is hosting Nashville in the next MLS matchup, and it looks like Philadelphia broke their curse. They were on a 5 game draw streak, but they were able to beat Atlanta 3-2 at home just a few days ago, while Nashville on the other side hasn't won any of their last 3 games, and they are at the playoff spot right now, but they could definitely lose it if they slip up a few more times. But I think that they are also one of those teams who has 3 games still left to play. So they have time and they don't really have to force anything here. And they could kind of save themselves to secure the playoffs when playing at home. So at this price, we simply have to take Philadelphia on the money line. It's minus 129. Should be a fun game to watch, but I think that Philadelphia will come out on top. Austin and LAFC are facing off in Texas. And you know what? Austin is still in the playoff run. They have bounced back. They did get a win against DC United 3-0, which was actually quite surprising to me, but they got it and they are still in the playoff race. As far as LAFC goes, they also had an excellent game against Minnesota, 5-1 win at home. But on the road, they haven't won any of their last five, six, seven games on the road. Now, I'm not saying they will lose this game, but I definitely think that Austin deserves to be this slight favorites that we are seeing them at plus 143 because they are fighting for playoffs. But I also think that LAFC will score here. So both teams to score in over 2.5 once again, minus 132. We can kind of tell that the books are expecting it by how these prices are uh, on the higher note, let's call it like that. So both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Chicago and Charlotte is the next matchup, and I think this one potentially could be very interesting because both of these teams are fighting for playoffs still. I think Chicago is on the wild card spot, while Charlotte is a couple of spots below. But Charlotte has 3 games left to play this season, and potentially if they can get a positive result out of this game, they could make their job a lot easier and they could definitely qualify for that playoffs. But in order for that to happen, they need to score goals. And Chicago, if they want to stay in that wild card spot, I think they will need to score goals as well. So another game, guys, with both teams to score at over 2.5, but this one is priced quite nicely at minus 109. And I will not pass it up. I will take this both teams to score at over 2.5 any day of the week in this matchup. Dallas is hosting San Jose, and you know what? Dallas has been all over the place as of late. They have 3 draws in a row. Before that, they have won a game, and they are in the playoff spot right now. So is San Jose, but both of these teams could lose it. So I think that this is going to be the game where we're going to see a little bit more defense than offense, and the last 4 out of 5 games between these two teams have ended in a draw. So I'm gonna give it a shot once again with the draw. Plus 280. Have in mind this is like a half a unit play or something like that. Definitely not a whole unit, unless you have like really big faith that this is gonna end in a draw. But plus 280 should give you a nice payout if this ends in a draw, and I'm gonna go with it. So half a unit it is. Houston is hosting Colorado in the next matchup, and Houston has done a really good job. They are in the playoff spot right now. They definitely need another win or maybe even a draw at least will be enough to secure that spot. While Colorado, they have been showing some signs of life, but they will stay at the bottom of the table and they will not be going to playoffs. So I think this is going to be all Houston, and I'm going to take Houston minus one at minus 127. Minnesota and Galaxy are two teams that are basically direct competitors to qualify for the playoffs. And Galaxy also has 3 games left to play. And if they want to have a hope at getting to that wild card spot, they need all 3 wins. Now, the problem is that we know that Galaxy has zero defense. They can't defend against anyone, and they ended up losing to Seattle the other day 2-1. But Galaxy can score goals, and so can Minnesota. So this is another game, guys, where we simply have to go with goals. Both teams to score at over 2.5, minus 159. I know it seems like I have a lot of picks with both teams to score in over 2.5, and I do, but we are at that stage of the regular season where those things are more likely to happen than not, and we have a lot of teams fighting for that playoff spot. So I think the office is going to be the way to go in this game. So Minnesota against Galaxy, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Salt Lake is hosting Kansas, and you know what? Salt Lake will be going to the playoffs. I think that they're pretty much safe. They could use another win to kind of secure it, but they have 3 games left to play, and they will definitely get enough points to stay in that playoff spot. As far as Kansas goes, I think that they're below the wild card spot right now, but they have been doing a decent job, and it might be enough if they get a draw here and maybe a draw from their last game of the season. Uh, a win, of course, would be precious for them, but I don't think they will get it here against Kansas. I'm going to go with another draw plus 285. I think that Kansas will mostly be focused on not Kansas. Salt Lake will mostly be focused on defending here at home and getting the positive result, then attacking and going for the win, and that's just gonna be too much for Kansas to handle. So I'm gonna go with the draw in this one. And the last game of the day, the MLS, is that big derby at the Pacific. We have Seattle playing against Vancouver. Two teams very much capable of scoring goals, especially Vancouver, who's coming off of a 3-0 win against St. Louis. And that win was simply enough for them to stay in that playoff spot and to qualify for the playoffs, which means that this game basically has no meaning. I expect to see a little bit mixed lineups from both sides, and that should give us a little bit sloppy defense on both sides. So once again, I'm going to go with both teams to score in over 2.5 goals, minus 117. I think it's a great price, and I think we're going to see some goals in this one. That's it, everyone. Thank you for joining me here. Have a great day, guys. Have a great Saturday. There's a lot of picks to go through, so check it out, guys. Get that parlay of the day that we have in the other video. Subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you guys soon with more free picks.